I'm not very comfortable with this. He's not the smoothest operator.
He's really not.
Is he? No,
He's not. It's a bit of a diss, to be honest with you.
Massively. Massively. He's a laughing stock. So, anyway, off we go.
Joe presents From the Corner, brought to you by DAZN. Hello, fight fans, and welcome to From the Corner, the boxing show that combines heavyweight guests with a flurry of brilliant boxing chat. With me, David Alorka.
And me, Swarzy Macaly. Unbelievably, this is our last show of the series. So we brought out the big guns with the guests to finish on a high. So let's go ahead and meet them.
That's right. In the red corner this week is a newly turned pro who's already got 2 brilliant wins under her belt.
Absolutely. And in the blue corner is the king of the promotion game. Give it up for Skye Nicolson and Eddie Hearn.
Hey. But before we meet them, let's see what's coming up on the show.
Absolutely. We're going to be looking ahead at 2 humongous fight nights on DAZN that are going to set the spring on fire.
That's right. We'll be putting Skye and Eddie through their paces in a game we're calling Hearn or Brent.
I'm excited for that. And as always, we'll be tackling a big boxing talking point before we round off the series in style with our final headband challenge.
Oh, my days. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Bit nervous about Eddie versus Brent, and definitely about the headband. Yeah.
No,
I'm still getting over the first one. They reminded me I was bottom of the leaderboard, so the only way is up, right?
The only way is up. Also, we're so happy to have you as well. You've had an incredible couple of months turning pro, moving from Australia to the UK as well. How's it all going for you?
Yeah, it's been a huge few months. Big lifestyle change, obviously, the Gold Coast to Bromley. But no, absolutely loving it. It's been, like I said, a huge few months, and I'm really excited about the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie, it's so great to have you back on the show as well. We want to know, in terms of Skye, how does someone like her pop up on your radar?
Well, I've got to thank Chris Lloyd, actually, one of our DAZN commentators, because it was during the Olympics that he said to me, you need to keep an eye out on Skye Nicolson. So did a little bit of research, watched her in the Olympics, and then she fought another Brit called Karis Artenstall for a medal. And I have to say, thought Skye won the fight, and I was like, she didn't get the decision, and I think, that's one that we certainly need to look at. She's won the Commonwealth Games gold medal, she's won a World Championship medal, and Australia is a big market for us at the moment. So popped her a DM.
Come on.
Did you really?
Yeah. Slid into the DMs.
That's the standard approach now of any fighter. You know, just like literally, and I guess that's where social media is so good for that kind of thing. You haven't got to search around for a phone number. I can just say, look, we're interested in discussing a promotional deal. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So when Eddie Hearn slides into your DMs, did you believe it, first of all?
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked. I was open to the conversation. I didn't really have plans to turn professional, but I'm kind of a never say never type person, and I'm always going to be open to new ideas and stuff. And it was an exciting new journey to kind of look forward to. And I felt like I was getting a little bit stale in the amateurs and needed something new and exciting, and moved to the other side of the world.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that as well about your style. You thought that your style was more suited towards professional boxing rather than amateur. How do you know what your style's all about?
I feel like my boxing style's quite patient, so I feel like the more rounds suits me. I feel like I get better as the fight goes on. So I feel like I'm a lot more patient fighter. I'm happy to sit back and wait. I'm not go, 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 which the amateur system is quite, obviously you only have 3-minute rounds, and it's go, go, go.
Eddie, talking of you were recently caught on camera sparring with Matchroom CEO Frank Smith. Let's take a little look.
I've just got some official news actually out today that I broke my finger. I've just come from the surgeon's scan, and I broke my finger in the fight, and I've got to have it operated on, which is even more in the fight.
Fighter.
Yeah, that wasn't a fight. But when I look back at that, it's really embarrassing. Like, my dad called me the next day going, "What are you doing? Like, beating up poor Frank." He called the spar on. He called it on.
Yeah.
We could see the smile on your face when you knocked him down as well. Do you secretly enjoy causing a little bit of pain?
No, I've just never knocked anyone down before. So I thought, wow, I didn't actually know I could do that.
You look back like, I did that.
But he was like, I think it was about the third round, he was like, don't punch me here. I was like, I think I've broken my rib. So I'm like, I actually did say to a few people after that, and I think you were there as well, I was talking about like a Jake Paul fight, and I think you said, like, don't.
Yeah.
After watching that,
Yeah,
don't do
I
that.
feel like
Relationship here.
I know, not it's like love-hate. But she was like, no, seriously.
I feel like Frank's a good level for you.
Yeah, great. That means a lot. Yeah, I was like thinking, like, obviously, because I knocked Frank down and looked so well, I was like, Jake, it's a big money fight. People were like, don't, you'll get destroyed. I was like, really? People say how bad Jake Paul is, so that's not very encouraging. So, yeah.
I like to back a winner, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you.
So you've got the best promoter in the game sitting beside you all the way through your career, which is so exciting. So who would you like to see Eddie get you to fight in the ring?
I think you'll see the best me against girls that are coming in there to win. So that's kind of what I've said from day one. I want to fight the girls that are training to win. I don't want last-minute opponents that are kind of just being thrown in there.
On her first fight in San Diego, obviously we were all out there, and 2-3 weeks to go, her opponent pulled out. So Skye accepted a southpaw, 3-0, was she? Mm-hmm. From San Diego, Jessica Juarez. The whole crowd was Mexican, right? And I'm thinking, what are we doing? You know, I mean, like, we've gone through the DM and the Zoom process. I've got the signature, and we're going to get a beat by David, you know? And, like, she weighed in, like, this Juarez girl, like, everyone's going mad in the crowd, and she's, like, putting out on Instagram, this is my time, opportunity. I'm going, I'm even going up to the manager going, listen, should we pull an injury? Go back to England. And she won every round.
Yeah, I loved the face.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Actually, afterwards, I was like, oh, she was like, why did everyone, like, in the change room after, everyone's going, oh, thank God for that. Like, did no one think I was going to win?
Eddie, you recently said that Tyson Fury will be a bigger fighter if you were promoting him. How?
He's doing the mouth like, did I?
I say a lot, to be honest. I might have said it. I probably did, yeah.
How would you build his profile even more?
I think with Tyson, it's just managing him, you know. I mean, look, he's a brilliant self-promoter, Tyson Fury. I could have signed him. I had a meeting with him in Monaco. This was before his comeback. He was like 30 stone. He was sweating. Like, and this is what a remarkable comeback he's made, and you have to give him a lot of credit and respect, because I looked at him, I thought, you'll never fight again.
Wow.
But he's done amazing to come back.
But it's time for a little game, and this one is all about our good friend Eddie here.
Indeed, being the smooth talking promoter he is, Eddie is known for coming out with some absolute gems. But what we want to see is if he can distinguish his own quotes from those of the star of the UK office, David Brent.
Eddie and Skye, you're working as a team here. We're going to give you some quotes. You've got to work out, did Eddie say it, or did they come from Slough's very own David Brent from The Office?
Skye, we want you to say whether you think the quote was either Eddie or David. Then Eddie, you can say whether you agree with her.
Okay.
We ready?
I'm not very comfortable with this. Because people say you are like David Brent from The Office, and he's not the smoothest operator.
He's really not.
Is he? No,
He's not.
no.
It's a bit of a diss, to be honest with you.
Massively. Massively. He's a laughing stock. So, anyway, off we go.
All right, Eddie, here we go.
I don't look.
Right, we'll start with an easy one, so take it away, Eddie.
You're going to read it out.
I suppose I've created an atmosphere where I'm a friend first and a boss second. Probably an entertainer third.
I feel like that sounds like an Eddie thing to say.
Which is really worrying, because that's definitely a David Brent thing.
I can actually reveal that it was actually David Brent.
Yeah. Which again just reinforces the fact that basically I am David Brent.
Yeah.
You've got a couple more, though, so
Okay.
you've got a chance.
When you're starting out, it's just you against the world. Then you take over the market and they say you're Dr. Evil.
Is that Hearn or Brent, Skye? What are you thinking? Yes, I love
That was me.
it. They're all Hearn.
Well done. It was Eddie. Well done.
I did say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, wow, I'm the best in the world at what I do.
Hearn. Definitely Hearn.
It was me. But that is the sort of thing Brent would say. Yeah. Which, again, is very worrying. So someone said to me that, how does it feel to be the best in the world at what you do? And I was like, I am. I was like, I am the best in the world at what I do. Genuinely, like, how many people can actually say that? I know there's not many, but we're not going to get into that. I actually said that in an interview, and the interview was going, what a prick. People say I'm the best boss. They go, ooh. They go, ooh, we've never worked in a place like this before. You're such a laugh. You can get the best out of us. And I go, you know, c'est la vie.
All right, hold on. Before you even guess, Is he the best boss? Because I feel like this could really...
No, the fighter's my boss. I always
I'm the boss.
say, yeah,
Well, you're the boss.
The fighters are the boss. Like, I don't mind saying it. Skye's my boss. Anthony Joshua's my boss. Canelo Alvarez is my boss. You know, we work for the fighter.
So what do you think, Skye?
Brent.
You're going Brent, yeah?
Yeah.
You are right. I can reveal that one was indeed Brent.
Well,
Well done. Good.
there's a fine line between being relentless and being an arsehole.
Skye, is that Hearn or Brent?
Hearn.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. I wasn't actually sure about that.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I was basically saying that, like, there's a big movement, isn't there? Like, being relentless and, like, just hustle without actually, you know, it's the whole thing about enjoying the journey rather than the destination.
Good quote.
I don't know if that was me or Brent. You know.
I can reveal it was actually Eddie.
Yeah.
You laugh like two.
Yeah, oh, thanks. And I don't even think you've seen the show. Yeah, right, okay. I'm an educator. I'm a motivator of people. I excite their imaginations.
Brent.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It's,
Thank God.
Thank God, yeah,
I
exactly.
signed to it.
Well done, guys. You did really well. And Eddie, you played like a trooper, man. Thank you very much for jumping in with the game. This weekend on DAZN, boxing history is being made as Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano become the first all-female main event to take place at Madison Square Garden. Let's watch a sneak preview of the big night ahead.
This is for the moment when you were given nothing, but fought for everything. Taking the hard knocks and proving yourself again and again. Because when the sport didn't change for you, you went and changed the sport.
Amanda Serrano's the GOAT.
Katie Taylor is an absolute legend of the sport of boxing.
This is for one of the biggest fights of all time. For the first women to headline Madison Square Garden. For greatness. For undisputed. For history.
This fight couldn't get much bigger. It's two of the best pound-for-pound female boxers in the world fighting for 5 titles. Any predictions on how it might go?
I think the momentum of the last few performances is probably with Amanda Serrano, but I've seen a different Katie Taylor in this camp, like such a focused Katie Taylor. She looks razor sharp. A lot of people were saying, you know, is she starting? Are we starting to see a decline in Katie Taylor? I don't think so. I think she's going to win this fight, maybe even by late stoppage, or points would be the favourite. But if you know Katie, these are the nights that she absolutely lives for. And it will never get bigger than this, you know, for any of these two. She's not motivated like this when she fights a mandatory challenger that she's expected to steamroll through. You know, a bit like what Skye said earlier, it's just it's a different mindset. She have the fear factor. We talk about it being the biggest female fight of all time. It's one of the biggest fights of all time. It's really got like the Mayweather-Pacquiao feel to it, of an undisputed champion and a 7 division, or what was Pacquiao, 8 division world champion at the time, but both in their absolute prime, really. Yeah. And that's the difference. It can only be a thriller.
I was going to say, is it true that you met her as a teenager, and did she inspire you to get into boxing at all?
No, so I was already boxing, but I met her for the first time when I was 14. Wow. So I've been a big Katie Taylor fan for a long time, but she was already world champion in the amateurs by then. So I've kind of always looked up to her. She's always been a good role model for me, and I know a lot of girls in Australia and around the world. So big Katie Taylor fan. So I'd love to see Katie win the fight.
Would the winner go down as the greatest female fighter of all time?
100%, yeah, no doubt. I think if you ask the general boxing population who's the greatest female boxer, you're 9 times out of 10 going to get Katie Taylor.
Absolutely. And now you're about to fight on the same card as her at Madison Square Garden. How does that feel?
Oh, it's surreal. I got goosebumps just watching the promo, but no, it's such an amazing experience for me. But just to be there, let alone fighting on the card, it's just, I'm very, very excited and very blessed, very grateful.
How big is this fight for someone like yourself?
Oh, it's obviously the biggest female fight ever. But for me, being obviously an upcoming prospect, to be given the chance to have the exposure is huge, not just for me, but for younger female boxers that watch me and look up to me as well to see that could be them one day as well. So it's kind of like this chain reaction. I was a 14-year-old looking up to Katie Taylor, and there's a lot of young girls looking up to me. So I guess it's, keeping that legacy going.
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. Eddie, where can these headliners go after this fight? Have they both climbed the mountain and reached the pinnacle?
I mean, I would like to see Katie Taylor retire undefeated, but she's like, I remember having a conversation with her once, and this was about 4 years ago, and I said to her, like, how many fights do you think you've got left? Like 3, 5? And she looked at me like she was going to knock me out. Like, she feels like she's got a lot left to do. I mean, her story is incredible. She used to wear a headguard to go into the gym to pretend she was a boy. She boxed under the name Kay Taylor, and she boxed boys pretending to be a boy, because at that stage you couldn't fight as a girl. Like, it was unheard of that a girl would go into a boxing gym and start competing. So she also went to the IOC and convinced them to allow female boxing in the Olympics. She had to have an exhibition fight in front of an IOC committee to show them that she was good enough and it was entertaining enough to allow women's boxing in the Olympics. So we've got so much to thank her for.
Yeah.
And she deserves this more than anyone.
You mentioned everything there about some of the challenges and obstacles that someone like a Katie Taylor can face and what they've done for the sport. So what are your plans to make sure that doesn't happen or never happens again?
You just have to keep knocking down the barriers. So what we're saying is, no, we can provide longevity for women's boxing because it's entertaining. Now, Katie Taylor's making a lot more money than most men world champions. But forget male or female, it's because of her value.
Yeah.
She's filling up Madison Square Garden. I've actually said to her before, which was another moment she looked like she was going to knock me out. I said, let's do an all-female card. You can headline. I think I was going to do it on International Women's Day or whatever. She was like, no. I was like, oh, what? That's the worst idea ever. I was like, yeah, he come up with it over there. I just thought I'd drop it in. She said, that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want all female cards. We want to be on the same card as men. You know, and in this, I mean, look at this card. Liam Smith against Jesse Vargas.
Come on.
His co-main event.
Yeah.
That was supposed to headline a show in Las Vegas earlier in the year. So now you've got a massive fight like that on the undercard of Taylor Serrano. For Katie, that's what she wants to see.
Well, Smith is a strong favourite in this with the bookies. Do we think he's going to get the job done?
I think it's a 50-50 fight. I mean, I think Liam Smith is a really good fighter. I mean, he's been unlucky in his career. 3 defeats, one in Russia that he won the fight comfortably, he got a bad decision. One against Canelo Alvarez, which actually he gave a great of account of himself in that fight. And the other one against Jaime Munguia, in which was another war. So I think Liam Smith is a real world-class fighter. Jesse Vargas is a 2-division world champion. He's also running for mayor in Las Vegas, which is never a good sign. It's like maybe you're looking at life after boxing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he's looking at this fight going, this could be my last fight, so I'm going to give it everything. Little bit of bad blood in that fight as well. So looking forward to seeing those two face off. A fight that would be main event on any other card and just shows you the size of Taylor Serrano.
Now, the drama does not end this weekend at Madison Square Garden, because next weekend, DAZN are bringing you the latest chapter of a legendary tale, live from Las Vegas.
Canelo, it's just too much of a risk. Dimitri Bivol's a beast.
Has a great jab. It's a fight that would mean something for Canelo.
Bivol is probably the most dangerous opponent out there for Canelo.
I don't think Canelo has the size and power.
He's technically proficient. He's powerful.
He's a better fighter than the turn. That's why he has a great jab. Bivol's a beast.
I actually think this is one of the toughest fights of his career.
Yeah.
Now, you have to understand, Canelo Alvarez has come up from 147 pounds. He's not a light heavyweight. He's got no business being a light heavyweight. He's really a small super middle. And Bivol is a good, strong light heavyweight who's in his absolute prime. But Canelo Alvarez is something else. Something else. I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm a fanboy, but if he asked me to clean his shoes, I would. You know, he's an absolute legend of the sport. Like, normally there's a fighter that not everybody agrees he's great.
Yeah.
But in boxing, everybody agrees that Canelo Alvarez is just a tremendous fighter. A clear pound for pound number one. I don't think anyone would say differently.
Absolutely. Skye, talk to me. Well, obviously, Canelo's a massive favourite for this fight. Do you think he's going to get the job done with ease?
It's hard to say with ease, but his mindset, it's inspiring. It's his self-belief. It's something he has inside his mind that the weight thing isn't going to be something that affects him mentally. I do see him winning the fight, but I don't know if it'll be with ease.
Now, Eddie, you mentioned about being a fanboy, but is it fair to say that you've got a bit of a man crush on him?
Yeah, he's just like, I've never met anyone so confident in his own ability. Like I've been around him on fight week for the Callum Smith fight, for the Plant fight, for the Billy Joe Saunders fight, and I've gone to him, this is a tough fight. And he's like, I'm like, no, seriously, he went, no. I remember when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, and I just said, Saunders is very good. He's like, no. He says, once he feels it, over. I'm like, okay. When we talk about mindset of winning, he genuinely believes he can beat Alexander Usyk for the world heavyweight title. He said to me, if you can make that fight 1 pound above cruiserweight, which obviously Usyk was a cruiserweight, I will beat him. I find it hard not to believe him. Canelo comes from, a tough upbringing in Mexico. He now has more money than he's ever dreamed of. He's achieved more than he ever dreamed of in the sport, yet wants to win more than ever. Like, that's a special individual, especially in boxing.
And I want to ask you, Skye, where does your hunger come from?
I feel like it started when I first started boxing. That first feeling of my hand being raised was so addictive.
Yeah.
And I knew from then how much I loved winning. I feel like I went through some struggles with mindset and nerves and stuff around fights growing up. And when I shifted my focus from the fear of losing and focused on winning, that was where I saw a really big change. I love that feeling of winning, and that's my drive.
Yeah, huge talk here. Now, each week on From the Corner, we love to get our teeth stuck into a boxing talking point. And this week, our topic follows on from our discussion of the Taylor-Serrano fight.
That's right. The fight is being co-promoted by Jake Paul, who represents Amanda Serrano. And we want to talk about him and his impact on the sport.
Let me go with Skye first. What do you think Jake Paul brings to the sport of boxing?
I feel like there's a lot of negative stuff around the YouTubers and boxing and whatnot, but I've always had the opinion that if they're getting more eyes on the sport and expanding the audience on boxing and people are tuning in to watch boxing shows that wouldn't normally tune in to watch boxing shows, then it can only be a positive, especially when they can showcase great talent on the undercard as well. Yeah, I don't see it being a negative at all. I think he's doing great things for boxing.
I agree with Skye, but at the same time, we go back to, not that there's a desire to push the longevity of YouTube boxing, but as long as the skill levels are okay, and Jake Paul can fight. Like, he's never going to win a world championship. Like, don't believe any of that stuff, but he's better than some professional fighters that I've seen. So therefore, why shouldn't he be allowed? There's a bit of a sort of bitterness about some fighters that go, hold on, I've been out here working for years and years, and now he's coming on the big shows making millions of dollars. Well, guess what? He's built the profile to be able to do whatever he wants. Now, yes, of course he's getting better opportunities, more money because of the profile he built, but guess what? He built that profile. So tough shit to anyone else who moans about it. And look, his last knockout at Tyrone Woodley was one of the knockouts of the year. It was a show-real knockout. And there's a lot of people that can't stand him that went, oh, no, that's so annoying. But I'd go, good on him.
We've spoken all the way through this series about the power and the importance of building a profile. Do you feel the pressure of that as well, Skye?
I don't think it's a pressure thing. I think it's just part of the sport. Professional boxing is a business, and you have to put in that graft away from the gym as well.
Okay, guys, it's that time of the show where we put our guests to the test. It's the Headband Challenge. As always, you guys have got 30 seconds to punch the ball as many times as you can. Eddie, you did this challenge when you were on earlier on in this series. Can you remember how you did?
Yeah, I thought what I'd do is if I start impressing and stuff like that, then people start thinking I'm arrogant. So I thought that I would just,
be humble.
Just intentionally score low. I don't know if I'm still bottom, but I knew I'd be back for another episode.
Well, when you was last here with us, you did score a humble 26 points. So you are at the bottom of the leaderboard and have been at the bottom of the series.
Actually. That's very unusual.
Well, the good news is that you've got a chance to redeem yourself.
I think there's more pressure on Skye. Because if she's no good, there's a problem. We're probably getting to the stage now. She's had a couple of good performances. She's probably looking to renew her contract. If I watch this and the coordination's not there, this could really affect the new deal.
Well,
Pressure's on.
the pressure is on. Your mate Ebony got 88 points to come second.
Oh, God.
Comedian K Kurd is at the top of the leaderboard with 91 points, I believe. So, I mean, the challenge is on.
3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. Hey, come on.
You got this, guy.
Yes. Yes. Look at the rhythm. Come on. Hey.
What more do you want me to do?
Skills. No games. Look at that. Hey.
The tongues come out.
Please, no games.
On it.
Yes.
Bit like
Come
a
on.
hard no.
Let's go.
This is
Yeah, you're nice with it.
Come on. Skills to pay the bills. Sensational. Hey.
Well done.
Come on.
Woo.
Sensational stuff there. How was it, guys?
Yeah, I just, I wanted to make sure that Skye, I felt if I got more points than Skye, it would be a bad look. So we'll tally him up. But obviously I was conscious of that. But
He didn't go easy on you. You were good.
she weren't trying that hard. Nearly had a nosebleed.
Well, indeed, I can reveal coming in with 73 is Eddie Hearn!
Wow.
Great improvement.
I mean, 26 to 73.
Does
That's
that
big.
mean I was second?
That means you tripled your score, not quite second.
No, as in
Second
out of us.
Yeah, I'm about to reveal.
All right, okay,
here.
all right, okay.
And coming in at fourth place in our leaderboard, it's Skye Nicolson with 84. Sensational.
Count back. VAR, count back, please.
Skye, how do you feel?
Oh, I love to win. So.
Yeah, but you come fourth, so.
Well, she's above you, though.
beat me. So well done,
Thank
Skye.
you.
You beat me. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, Skye, well done. We've absolutely loved having the both of you. Please give it up. Eddie Hearn and Skye Nicolson.
Remember to find us on the Joe YouTube channel or wherever it is you get your podcasts. This has been From the Corner, brought to you by Joe and DAZN.
Yay!
Hey! Fabulous! You've been listening to From the Corner, brought to you by Joe and DAZN.